Okay, so think about this. Most of us, right? We have this private dream, a life goal that, if we're honest, maybe feels a bit too big. Or maybe even a little ridiculous to say out loud.
Yeah, that feeling that the life you really want is somehow off limits,
Yeah,
impractical.
exactly. And that feeling, that internal clash, that's where we're jumping off for this deep dive. We're looking at the mindset shift needed. How do you stop just wishing and actually, ask for what you want and maybe even get it?
And that feeling of ridiculousness, that's the core tension, really. We're pulling from some fascinating insights today, looking at how someone used belief almost like a tool. So the difference between just dreaming and actively visualizing and putting in the work.
Right. Ultimately, it boils down to this choice you make constantly.
Correct.
Are you coming from love, or are you letting fear run the show? So our mission today is pretty clear. We need to get under the hood of this belief system. We're digging into how imagination can sort of project reality, how fear puts on a disguise, pretends to be just common sense practicality,
Yeah, the reasonable choice.
and how we can maybe start shedding these identities that other people, or maybe we ourselves, have built up to find some actual real peace inside. All right, let's unpack this first bit. The blueprint of belief. Because it sounds kind of abstract, but there's this really concrete story attached to it.
Yeah, this account from someone incredibly creative who, when he was basically broke, started doing these intense visualizations.
He'd drive up high, look over the city, but not just look, he'd imagine meetings, visualize directors praising him, build that future in his head.
And what's really interesting, at first, it wasn't about getting rich right then. It was simpler. Doing that just made him feel better.
Ah.
He was building internal proof, telling himself, okay, these things, this success, it exists. It's out there for me. I just don't have my hands on it yet. It's like rewiring your brain to accept the possibility before anything external changes.
That makes sense. But then it gets even wilder, right? It moves from just thinking to, well, doing something pretty audacious.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
To make it real, tangible, he wrote himself a check, a personal check,
For
$10 million.
Wow. Just wrote $10 million.
Well, and specified for acting services rendered. Made it specific.
Okay, specific. And he didn't just write it and put it away?
No, he dated it for a specific future date, Thanksgiving 1995, and then he put it in his wallet, carried it every single day.
So it got worn out, handled.
Yeah, apparently got really deteriorated, almost falling apart, a constant reminder right there in his pocket.
Okay, but let's pause here. Because this sounds like magic. Write a check, get rich. And you hear these stories, but what about all the people who visualize, who write checks, and, nothing happens? Isn't this just survivorship bias? That is the critical point. Absolutely crucial. And it gets missed a lot. The philosophy is crystal clear. Visualization is not magic on its own.
Right.
He always stressed this. It only works if you work hard. If you think the check itself is the magic ticket, you'll just stop trying. You can't just visualize and then, let's go eat a sandwich.
Exactly. You can't just sit back. The check wasn't passive. It demanded action from him every day he carried it. And the proof. It's pretty staggering. He actually found out he was going to earn that specific amount, $10 million, for a movie.
Like Dumb and Dumber, maybe? One of those early ones.
Probably one of those, yeah. And he found out just before that specific Thanksgiving 1995 date he'd written on the check.
Okay, that timing is remarkable.
It really is. It suggests the visualization and the hard work aligned in a pretty powerful way.
So that hard work piece brings us right up against the main obstacle, doesn't it? Fear.
Fear. It's always there. You can't just, get rid of it entirely. The insight here isn't about eliminating fear, but deciding how much power you give it.
And how it shows up is interesting. It's sneaky.
Very sneaky. Most people don't choose their path based on saying, I'm scared.
I say.
I'm being practical.
Exactly. You have to be realistic. That's fear wearing a sensible suit. It convinces you that your real desires, the big ones, are just ridiculous, impossibly out of reach, so you don't even start. And that leads to this really cool metaphor, the idea that our eyes aren't just windows in, they're also projectors.
Yeah, like film projectors.
Yeah.
We're constantly running the second story over the reality we're actually seeing.
Yeah.
Layering something on top.
And that second story, the film being projected, its director, is fear. Fear is the writer, director, editor, everything. It's like this internal background noise. And the theme is always the same. I'll never be enough.
That sounds exhausting.
It is exhausting. It's what drives that constant comparison, right? Someone else is doing better. I should be further along. It's the ego trying to make sure you never feel okay with where you are right now.
So if we're always projecting this like anxiety movie onto our lives,
Right.
how do you turn off the projector?
Well, maybe not turn it off completely, but you need a reset button.
Yeah.
You have to keep pulling yourself back to this moment, right here, right now.
Okay.
Because when you stop focusing on that projected story of what's missing, you realize all your power, all your choices, they're happening now in the present.
And that forces the choice. Right. Is this next step I'm taking coming from fear, or is it coming from, well, from love?
Yeah.
From what I actually want. Hashtag the ego's temptation and the true currency.
Okay, let's connect that to ambition. Because the ego loves ambition, doesn't it? It's always whispering.
You got to leave your mark.
Yeah. Be remembered forever, achieve immortality through fame or money or status or whatever.
And the big irony, the real trap, is that it's promising you something you kind of already have, in a way. We're always searching for wholeness, but there's this insight that actually we're all a bit like Frankenstein's monster,
Okay. How so?
in the sense that we're always changing. We lose pieces of ourselves, old ideas, ambitions, who we thought we were, and we gain new pieces as we go. There's always this gap between the image we show the world and the messy, evolving person inside.
So the goal isn't to, like, fix the mess or perfect the image for the ego.
Maybe the goal shifts away from getting stuff for yourself towards what you can give, contribution.
Like the artist we're talking about, he had this big realization right around age 28.
Yeah, after years focused on his own comedy career, making a name for himself, he realized his actual purpose wasn't just about him. It was about freeing other people from concern, just like his father had done for people, bringing joy and comfort.
Freeing people from concern, that's a powerful mission statement.
It really is. He apparently took it so seriously, he started thinking of it as his ministry of joy. He even called it the Church of Freedom from Concern, or FFC.
Wow. The Church of Freedom from Concern. So the question for you, listening, becomes, what's your ministry? Doesn't have to be grand. How can you use what you do, whether you're, I don't know, an accountant, a stay-at-home parent, a coder, whatever. How can you use that to maybe lighten the load for someone else, reduce some anxiety? And that leads directly to rethinking what's actually valuable. What's the real currency in life? It's not the fame, not the money.
It's the effect you have on other people.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway. Because all the material stuff, the cars, the awards, the houses.
It all fades, rots, falls apart eventually.
Exactly. When everything else is gone, what's left is what was in your heart. The impact you made on others. That's the only thing that really lasts.
Okay, so he dedicates himself to this ministry, this idea of freeing others from concern. And he gets there, right? Reaches the absolute peak. Success, fame, money, everything he visualized.
Everything, the top of the mountain. But then comes this huge, almost devastating realization.
Which was?
He managed to help free all these other people from concern. But the one person still trapped, still not free, was him.
Wow. Okay, that's heavy. You can achieve everything externally and still be stuck inside.
Exactly. That feeling of emptiness, even at the peak, forced a much deeper search. Who am I really? Underneath the fame, underneath the expectations, who am I if I stop trying so hard to be what everyone wants?
And the peace he was looking for wasn't out there.
No, he realized it was somewhere else entirely. It lies beyond personality, beyond what others think of you, beyond all the masks and disguises we wear, even, he said, beyond effort itself.
Beyond effort? What does that even mean?
It sounds radical, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it means not striving so hard to be something and just allowing yourself to exist. It's an internal state, not an achievement.
And the biggest thing blocking that internal state, that peace.
It's something so human. That deep, deep need to be liked, to be accepted.
Yeah. And the warning here is pretty stark. The need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world.
Invisible? How?
If you're constantly just molding yourself to fit what you think others want, your parents, your boss, society, you disappear. Your true self gets buried under all those layers of trying to please everyone. You become invisible, even to yourself.
Okay. So how do you break free from that?
The ultimate freedom comes when you stop trying to control how everything happens. Your job isn't to map out every single step to the goal.
What is it then?
Just to open the door in your head. Make the decision. Commit to the direction internally. And then, when a door that looks like that opens up in real life, you just have to walk through it.
That sounds simple, but it feels terrifying. Because walking through that door means dropping the defenses, right? It means letting the armor go. That persona you built for protection, you have to be willing to take it off.
Risk being judged. Risk failing.
Ask all of it. But ultimately, you risk being seen, really seen, in all of your glory, as the source puts it, without the filter of trying to be acceptable. Hashtag outro.
So wrapping this up, the big takeaway seems to be about perception. It's a choice. Do things happen to you, like random, unfortunate events?
Or do they happen for you? Even the tough stuff. Can you choose to believe there's something in it for your growth, even if you can't see it immediately?
Yeah, that choice fundamentally changes how you face challenges, doesn't it? With dread, or maybe with curiosity.
Exactly. So as you find yourself standing in front of new doors, maybe a new job,
Yeah.
a relationship change, a new understanding of yourself, remember that basic choice you always have.
Love or fear?
Love or fear? Choose love. Protect that playful, creative part of yourself. Don't let the fear script, that voice saying you're not enough, turn you away from what truly lights you up or where you authentically need to go.
We talked a lot about that second story, that fear film running in your head. Let's end with a challenge related to that. Think about one specific expectation, just one that someone else has placed on you right now.
Could be family, work, friends, society.
Yeah, and now just imagine defying it. What would it actually look like? If you did, you'd risk, as we said, being seen in all of your glory.
The real you, without the filter. So ask yourself this. Is that risk, the risk of maybe losing their approval? Is it worth the genuine peace you might find on the other side of just trying to fit in? Is the risk worth the peace? Something to think about.